Hello and welcome back to another video on the Wrestlers Debate and to another edition of AEW Dynamite Out 10. And it's a big show today. This week's Dynamite is very interesting. I think we got some big title matches and some interesting storyline developments on the show as well. Like I said, there's going to be a lot going on. And let's get straight into it. And we kick the show off with MJF versus Konosuke Takeshita in a World Championship Contenders match. MJF landed a cheap shot at the start of the match after conning Takeshita into a handshake. Back and forth action then ensued with MJF taking control with meticulous and spiteful deliberation. After a brief two, Takeshita took control and gained a close 2 count with a sheer drop brainbuster. Takeshita then honoured Eddie Guerrero with an ultra impressive frog splash that drew another 2 before he reversed a pile driver attempt into his own modified drive, followed by a deadlift German suplex. MJF rolled out the ring to avoid the pin. With the action back in the ring, Takeshita went for an audacious top rope move, only for MJF to take out the ropes from underneath him. MJF went to the top for himself, but appeared to receive a lariat for his troubles. To the roar of the crowd, MJF landed on his feet and landed a full-round strike on Takeshita. After an exchange, MJF was floored after an error lariat, but more back and forth. Takeshita almost had the match won with a Blue Thunder Bomb before landing a knee strike. The pinfall attempt ended with MJF pinning his feet on the bottom rope. MJF fought back to seize control once again and locking the salt of the earth armbar, eventually winning the bout via submission. After the match, he landed a Dynamite Ring assisted punch on Takeshita. As he looked down to beat the Japanese star down, Bryan Danielson emerged to make the save. MJF ran off, holding his title aloft while Danielson and the medical staff tended to the fallen star. And this gets an 8 out of 10 from me. What a brilliant match to kick off Dynamite this week. MJF really putting himself over as a heel, but Takeshita showing what he can do once again. He's so great, and Danielson's storyline at the end to continue it. But just a brilliant match to kick off the show. 8 out of 10. Next up on Dynamite, Jamie Hayter was then in action against the Bunny in an eliminator match. Hayter started strong with a series of tackles, but the Bunny almost took back control on the apron before Hayter landed an outside-in suplex. The action spilled to the outside with the Bunny taking control back and landing a suplex on the floor. The Bunny launched the champion into steel steps, which appeared to leave Hayter worse for wear in the elbow region. Despite a moderate fight back from the Briton, it was the Bunny who remained in control of corner offense. The pair later exchanged strikes on the apron before Hayter appeared to land an improvised face drop DDT on the hard surface. Hayter landed what looked like a smash drop in the ring before Hayter owed ripcord lariat scored the pinfall victory. I'm going to give this a 5 out of 10. Unfortunately, it seemed like there's a breakdown in the middle of the match that kind of led to a bit of an abrupt ending. Hope the Bunny's alright. Up until then, the match wasn't bad. Hayter was always going to get the win, so it didn't change too much. But just hope the Bunny's alright and everything didn't go too badly. Unfortunately, has to get a 5 out of 10. It was then time for the Garcia-Guevara gauntlet match. Stark starts against Andre Parker, and the first pace action from Parker saw a few quick attempts at the pinfall, but Starks landed a surprising spear to score the pin for himself. Up next was Maynard, who was just as quick out of the match as he was in after Starks rolled him out for a few count, but Daniel Garcia emerged before Sammy Guevara's music hit, leaving confusion who it would be. Garcia was indeed the next opponent, and work starts in the corner before taking control with a slow and deliberate offense to his grounded opponent. Back and forth action between the pair followed, with Starks looking to make quick work of Red Death with attempts at the Rochambeau. The pair then fought on the apron until Starks landed a spear on the ground. Only then Starks was struck with due defect by Chris Jericho standing at ringside in disguise. This allowed Garcia to put his opponent into the ring and score a pinfall for the win. It gets a 6 out of 10 from me. To be honest, I didn't know if Starks would win or not, but it kind of felt like a bit of a predictable ending. Up to it, the matches they didn't really quite get me, if I'm being brutally honest. It wasn't bad or anything like that, but I just felt like this could have been a bit more, so I'm only going to give it a 6 out of 10. Up next was Bryan Danielson versus Rush, with Danielson locked in the room with Takeshita prior to the match. MJF made his way down to the ring to get all rebels to start the bout. From there, he tried to force him to make a count out in favour of Rush, so that Bryan lost the match. Bryan kicked the door down, however, and made it to the ring. He was met by Rush's kicks, with El Toro Blanco taking over with a malicious and hard-hitting offense. Rush then had the American Dragon busted wide open with his mauling offense before landing a huge suplex on the floor. Danielson lay in the corner trying to collect himself before Rush looked to continue his beating. He was momentarily pulled into a label lock but reached for the ropes. From there, Danielson rallied and came back with comeback offense. Bryan's yes kicks led to a brutal striking exchange between the pair, which the American Dragon got the better of. Rush kicked out the Psycho knee at 2.999 to surprise the crowd. Another striking exchange saw Rush headbutting Bryan before he powered a very Dragon Ball-esque and rallied back to land a second Psycho knee. He wasn't kicking out after that. After the match, MJF came down to the ring and struck Daniel with a Dynamite Diamond ring. He then knocked an Assault of the Earth armbar despite Danielson being incapacitated. Officials forcibly removed him to close the segment. This gets an 8 out of 10 from me. Another really brilliant segment with MJF doing everything he can to stop Danielson from winning. Danielson being a big babyface, overcoming Rouge to win like that, and MJF afterwards. Really, really good. So happy we're getting a match at Revolution. Another great Danielson match. This was all great. 8 out of 10. The Elite were then in action against AR Fox and Top Flight. The match started with a fast-paced aerial offense with both teams exchanging control. The Elite took control and singled out Darius with rotating tags to make sure all three of Kenny Omega, Matt and Nick got their shots in. Eventually the match broke down into all 6 participants exchanging signature aerial offense. AR Fox landed consecutive outfall dives to the Bucks and Omega before a senton to Omega brought a 2 count. Fox then fought back and landed a bouncing Spanish fly into the top rope before tagging Dante Martin to the match. Dante had control until Matt Jackson landed his continual Northern Light suplexes. It appeared he would have had the match won after an impressive Northern Light suplex to all 3 opponents. It only drew a 2 count. Once again, a fast-paced exchange between all 6 opponents led to a near fall with the Elite landing a triple team Meltzer driver to AR Fox. Fox later kicked out of a gut wrench Dr. Bomb by Omega before receiving a V-trigger. He survived the one-winged angel attempt before a pinfall exchange that saw Kenny with a crucifix cover. This gets an 8 out of 10 from me. Another really, really brilliant match between the Elite and another trio. Top Flight and AR Fox killing it at the moment as well. This was really, really great. Gets an 8 out of 10 from me. Already loving the banger matches the Elite are having in this reign. I think Top Flight and AR Fox could have more to come with them, to be honest. 8 out of 10. Next up, it was time for the Acclaimed versus the Guns for the World Tag Team Championship. There was a quick feeling out process to start off the match, but between back and forth offense, the teams put their efforts into the work in the crowd. Bowens and Gunn battled in the middle of the ring before Bowens inadvertently nailed the referee with a rolling forearm strike. With the referee down, the Guns went for the belts to win the bout legitimately. However, Billy stopped it. He was repaid by being struck with the belt himself before the Acclaimed fired themselves back into the bout. Bowens hit the arrival and Max Caster the mic dropped before the referee was down and the count wasn't made. The Guns managed to strike Bowens with the belt in the end while the referee recovered as Austin pinned him to shock fans in attendance and become the new World Tag Team Champions. I absolutely did not see this coming, but it gets a 6 out of 10 from me. The match wasn't bad, lots of shenanigans as you expect between these two. The Guns winning, I'm not sure about the decision if I'm being brutally honest. I don't know. I think the Acclaimed, they had to reign for a bit longer, really. They're so over. The Guns, I'm not so sure about it. I'm going to reserve my judgment now. The match itself wasn't bad. The shock factor was there. So I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10. But I've got my doubts. But, let's just see where it goes. 6 out of 10 from me. Overall, Dynamite this week gets a 7 out of 10 from me, I'm going to say. It was a funny episode of Dynamite because there were some really, really good matches. Danielson, Rouge, MJF, Takeshka, the trios match, but there were also some very weird booking decisions on the show. I'm looking at you, the main event. A funny episode of Dynamite, full of ups and downs, let's just say that. But anyway, guys, that's it for the video. Thanks very much for watching. Remember to like, share, subscribe, leave your comments down below, follow the show for daily wrestling news, and subscribe to the channel, greatly appreciated. Thanks very much for watching. Peace out.